Hello and welcome to what will be the final trailer breakdown for the Challenge 41. That is until we get to the mid-season trailer breakdown. I know I've done two other trailer breakdowns, the full trailer and the super trailer, but there was also a trailer at the end of episode 1, as well as some scenes that were used in the beginning of both episode 1 and episode 0. Now I'm going to be doing this breakdown a little bit differently because we will be using some of the clips that were used in the beginning of episode 0 and episode 1 that I thought would be interesting / more enlightening if I grouped some of the similar scenes, like scenes that look like they were from the same challenge, from the same elimination, all the house drama, all together, and then we can go one by one instead of going in the sequential order in the trailer scenes all at once. So with that being the case, I thought I would just go over some of the voiceover that doesn't really go with any scenes right now. Like TJ at the beginning of the trailer at the end of episode 1 saying, "Every one of you are a threat to someone else to win this game. Greatness demands sacrifice. What are you willing to sacrifice to be great?" And then he even yells it louder saying, "What are you willing to sacrifice?" Blue is heard saying, "You're not helping me out at all." Naya saying, "How dare you?" Aviv, "We are seeing a ton of teams falling apart." Gabe at one point says, "I'm never a loser, that's not in my DNA." Leroy mentions that these threats are way better than us, they can literally do anything. Theo saying, "Marines, Special Operations, Jason Bournes we're competing against." Nany at one point is not feeling good about her partner, saying it'll be a true test to work together. Naya says at one point that Olivia is holding a lot of power in this house and has a lot of pawns. And those are all the voiceovers that do not have a specific scene to where somebody is literally saying them in the trailer. Let's now get into the actual clips and pictures from these trailers and the beginning of these episodes. It is this airstrip run where we can see the players running on this tarmac. It looks like there are 7 duos playing in this daily challenge, so could this be the final 14? The final 7 men and 7 women? Here I have this called the carry challenge, in the sense that it is basically players carrying a lot of stuff. Then this is going to be a really tough challenge. As you can see, Theo and Adrian, I believe, because this was used in a different trailer, that Theo and Adrian here are working together to carry hay bales, and it looks like they're tethered together by a chain. Here is the walk-up, it looks like, and it feels like this is going to be one of the first 5 daily challenges of the season. We have a ton of players. Here it looks to be somebody from the gray team. Either they're way out ahead or way behind, but it looks like they are carrying their pole together. I don't know who is on the gray team. Oh, it's Sydney. Here we have what looks to be the brown team, and Jake is going to be here. From a previous trailer, we know that he is going to be partnered up with Michaela. America will be doing this challenge. Olivia will be also doing this challenge, and she will be on the pink team. Here is Gabe carrying a pole by himself. It looks like the pole could be segmented, so maybe the idea is that there is already a pole at the end of their lane, and pairs are going to have to then move a whole bunch of hay barrels to use as a stepping ladder to get the poles kind of attached to one another and get all the pole together. Here's everybody running along in this challenge. It looks like there is quite a few teams. It looks like there are 9 lanes that we can see on the screen, but there's probably more so because I don't see Theo and Adrian here. I can see what looks to be, I think, Gabe and Anissa will be paired up with one another during this challenge. Here's Izzy doing the pole challenge. Gabe is carrying the pole yet again by himself. Who is this man's partner and where are they? Jeremy looks to be on the yellow team, Sydney on the gray team for sure, and she is holding a football, which I find very interesting about this challenge. Tay will also be doing the pole challenge, and she is on the orange team, it looks like. I believe that this is going to be part of the cave challenge, which we saw in the super trailer of multiple pairs going into a cave, because this is a dark challenge. And we can see that Cedric and Michaela will be paired up during this challenge as well. This is what I deem the city challenge. And I deem that because it looks like they're running through a city. This has been shown in some of the trailers, but we get to see more of who is in this and possibly who they are partnered up with. As we can see, we have Anissa and Ashley, And I believe the person right next to Ashley to her left is D. And as we can see, I've written everybody's name down that we can see who is doing this challenge and who we can distinctly see who is paired with whom. We have Leonardo and I believe Ashley will be paired with each other on this challenge. They are a part of the yellow team. D, we can see, is right next to Leonardo, right behind him, and Jake, and she is going to be on the pink team, which I believe that Derrick will also be on the pink team. Cedric is up at the front, and we can see that he will be paired up with Michaela. Turbo looks to be with Sydney. Jake is orange, and it looks like Anissa in the background is also orange, so Jake and Anissa are together. Nany will be on the light green team, but I can't tell who her partner will be. Leroy and America are on the white team and paired up with each other. Adrian is going to be dark green. Jeremy, I believe, is red. I can tell that Will, Theo, and Olivia will all be doing this challenge, but I can't tell what their colors are on their helmets / who they are partnered up with. We have this wall climb challenge. To me, I either think that this is Johnny. We have Izzy doing this wall climb challenge. I find this setup very interesting where they have the tower suspended, but slightly in water. It looks like 2 pairs will go at a time from this angle. I believe that these 2 puzzles are going to be slide puzzles, and you have to complete the slide puzzle. Once you do the slide puzzle, it'll release a lever or a mechanism, and then you can grab it, and then you swim up to the tower. You have to climb the tower, jump in, and then put the mechanism or the little bar thing inside the tower somewhere, and your time will be stopped. But here's Derrick, and he's yelling for help, and everybody's like, he is asking for help. He's needing help. And this is where I think that Derrick may aggravate his leg injury. He mentions it in episode 1's daily challenge, Mudball Madness, that he was trying to be gingerly on his leg to not re-aggravate it. And in the city run challenge, if you watch Derrick, it looks like he's kind of hobbling a little bit and trying not to put too much pressure on his one knee. Sydney is doing the wall climb challenge. I believe this is a portion of probably what now will be the pull block challenge, where we see the different symbols that the players are going to have to then go up and climb up the wall to pull out of the tower. We have some daily miscellaneous, mainly of Olivia smiling, and then behind her we can see the tattoos. I believe that Justin is behind her. I believe that Olivia and Justin are paired up on this daily challenge, and TJ just announced that they won this challenge, and they are so excited. Let's move on to the eating and running portion. I believe that this is the challenge that TJ says that there's only one thing he hates worse than quitters, and that is cheaters. Nany, we know, is going to be doing this challenge. I clipped this and put this in this section because I think that these are the players that will be in this. We can see that Jeremy will be doing this, Anissa, Nany, Theo, Adrian, Aviv will be doing this challenge. Leroy looks to be doing this challenge. Ashley will also. Tay will be doing this challenge. Gabe and Jake, Derrick, CT. I felt like this could be the mini final, but there seems to be a lot of names to this. Here we have the running with Will, Michaela, Theo, Jeremy, Will, Gabe, Sydney, Cedric, Leroy, and we also have a puppy also running alongside everybody, which is very, very cute. To me, I feel like that is definitively going to be the mini final, where people are going to be paired up, they're going to have to do it, or they could be solo. They could be running it solo, and then that could lead to people being like, okay, where are you sitting? Where are you standing? Let's go to one of the challenges that I'm the most excited for, is the go-kart challenge. It looks like there's going to be a go-kart course, and people are just going to have to race each other. From the trailer at the end of episode 1, we realized that there's actually going to be stations with puzzles in them. And we have Theo having to do this stacking puzzle, which kind of reminds me of the puzzle that Jay and Corey had to do in the final for season 39. We know that Ashley is going to be doing this because we see that her name tag on her racing gear, maybe one teammate is going to be driving and they're going to have to do a lap while one of their partners has to do a puzzle, and then they have to stop, wait for their teammate to do the puzzle to then swap out, and then their teammate is going to have to drive a lap, and when they come back, then they have to do another puzzle. This could be really good. This could be a nice fun relay race with go-karts. This is from episode 0, and we get to see more names attached because all their names and partners are attached with each other on the bottom of the go-karts. So we can see that Nany and Leonardo are going to be paired up with one another. Sydney and Derrick will also be paired up. Cedric will be doing this challenge. CT is all the way in the back, going to be doing this challenge. We can see that D and Turbo will be paired up for this daily challenge as well. If the number of go-karts is the exact number of teams that are in this challenge, CT looks to be in the back with 12. So this could possibly be the challenge that they do where there are 24 players, which makes up 12 pairs. We get a little bit more of the maze. We get an overhead look of the maze challenge. Here we can see on the bottom left is where everybody got to meet up with TJ and where TJ was saying, hey, everybody go. Everybody looks like they're going to be taking off in this maze to run around and try to find their boards, which will be of them playing Sudoku. From this scene, we can name some of the players that are going to be in this challenge. Bananas will also be doing this challenge, which we have not seen in the other trailers, but I believe that Sydney and Turbo will also be doing this challenge because of previous trailers, as well as Cara and Cedric, I think will be doing this challenge. I think the maze challenge could also be one that is done earlier rather than later. Here is the pull block challenge, which I think they're using the same area that they did with the rock climb challenge, but they decided to have this one suspended definitely in the air. And as we can see, there is going to be different teams going at the same time. So there's going to be 4 sides. They're going to have to scale the top of this wall to then find the correct puzzle pieces / symbols and then have to collect them all. One of my biggest theories is that the Dune Buggy challenge, where the Dune Buggies will be jumping the gap and all of the players are going to be sitting there watching them jump the gap. My big theory is that that Dune Buggy challenge will be the same challenge where they have to run and then do the pillar puzzle. Why I say that is because it looks like the same people that are partnered for the Doom Buggy challenge are paired up for that puzzle challenge. Doom Buggy is going to jump the gap. Everybody will have a designated place to watch. What I think they're going to have to do is run over, and there are going to be clues or a legend on the bottom of these Doom Buggies. So they're gonna have to run, they're gonna have to look underneath the Doom Buggy as it's jumping to get what puzzle piece is going where. Then they're gonna have to run all the way back to their station and put the puzzle together. First person to do this wins. We can see that Turbo is gonna be partnered up with Lekka. I believe Blue will be partnered up with Derrick. One of the Doom Buggy players are going to crash the buggy and flip it over. And as you can see on the bottom of the buggy, is a clue or a legend to the puzzle, at least a part of the puzzle. We can see that Derrick and Ben will be doing this challenge as well. That could be Tay. Here is a water challenge. We have Will doing the challenge. Leonardo will also be doing this challenge. Theo looks to be doing this challenge. We know that Izzy will also be doing this challenge as well. Lekka will also be doing this challenge, and I believe that Derrick will also be doing this challenge as well. I still don't know what that challenge is supposed to be. Van challenge, with the van being tethered to another truck, and you have to steer to try to knock into the boxes without falling over. Here we have somebody driving and hitting into the boxes and the boxes coming in. Looking at those eyes, I believe that this is Turbo. And I believe Turbo will be doing this van challenge. As stated in other trailer breakdowns, I believe that there's going to be a chain that one of the teammates are going to have to try to undo the chain as fast as possible to then signal to the car to go, and then the other teammate is going to be in the driver's seat trying to knock into these boxes. But as we can see, this person does not knock into the box. They go directly over the box, and they will turn and go too much to the one side and then be locked into crashing into this and being upside down. And those are all the daily challenges. Now we'll go into some of the eliminations, one of which being the Bananas Tug of War. As I believe from previous trailers, I believe that this is going to be Bananas versus Gabe. Here's Blue getting ready for an elimination where she needs goggles and a helmet. We have some action set pieces of Blue in the elimination. I still don't know who she is going up against, but remembering the other trailers where it looked like Blue was getting kind of physical with whoever she was going into the elimination against. We can see that she has something in her hand. She is trying to get it to touch a light to possibly get a point or get a round. Possibly there is something in the middle of the arena that the two players will have to run and try to wrestle away from each other or wrestle to the opponent's side with it to then put it under the light to then have it be counted as a point. Here's what I think is a possible double elimination, because we can see that there are 4 total players and there's going to be puzzle pieces and they're going around at a decent speed that they're going to have to try to grab as soon as possible. There's not much time to think in between spinning like this, but this could be a very interesting elimination, and peppering in some double eliminations every now and then could keep things very, very unpredictable. Then we have Theo yelling up into the crowd saying, "You're a liar, you have no honor." And then it shows Turbo walking through the crowd. Possibly Turbo and Sydney win into power and push the house to vote in Theo. Here we have everybody watching what I believe is the Oppenheimer elimination of the season. And as we can see, Adrian is here, Derrick is here, Ashley, Theo, Nany, Sydney, Izzy, Tay, Anissa, Jeremy, Lekka, and CT are all watching. On the other side, we have Justin, Aviv, Will, Turbo, and Gabe. Probably missing a few people, but I believe that they are watching the Oppenheimer elimination, which, speaking of which, and we can see from all the other trailers, we have 2 players running around the outside, but holding footballs. There is also a little circle on the other side where it looks like the 2 players are going to have to hold onto their footballs, crash into each other, and then try to break away and be the first to put their ball inside the circle. In my thought process, I believe that this is going to be Ben versus Derrick Chavez. And I say that because when I did the first trailer breakdown and I thought it was Theo versus CT, people were like, "No, look at the socks. That is going to be Derrick Chavez." And looking at the socks in this one, we can clearly see they are the same socks that are in the pole wrestle against CT. So if that is Derrick Chavez going up against CT in the pole wrestle, this has to be Derrick versus Ben, which I think is a very decent matchup of Ben versus Derrick. Also on Instagram, Ben posted a picture of himself in football pads, and so I believe that this is 100% Ben. From looking at it, it looks like it's going to be Izzy versus Tay. It looks like it's the exact same one in this elimination. But those are all the eliminations that we have seen now. Now let's go into some of the house drama, and we have Olivia saying, "If you want to win this game, you ought to earn it and not be a little P word in the shadows." I'm not going to say it, but you can guess what I'm trying to say. Nany does not look like she is having a good time, and if you see the outfit that she is wearing the same exact outfit as we saw in a previous trailer when she is saying, "Hey, I am not excited to be attached to you." Nany is getting very frustrated with somebody saying, "I'm too grown for that stuff, grow up." If you look at her outfit, she is wearing the same outfit that she looks to be wearing when she is getting frustrated with Anissa. Also, taking a look at this moment and taking a look at the other moments from the other trailers of Anissa getting into an argument with Ashley, something is happening where it is Nany and Ashley versus Anissa. Speaking of Anissa and Nany maybe having an argument, it looks like Anissa's hairstyle in the Anissa-Nany argument is different than here. This looks like it could be off of what happened between her and Ashley. And so possibly there are 2 separate arguments that happen maybe, where at one point it is Nany versus Anissa and then Ashley versus Anissa, and now Nany's helping Anissa out, calming her down after the Ashley argument. I feel like when episode 0 and episode 1 released, and then more and more of this moment between CT and Turbo has also been kind of trickling in via the trailers, I feel like at this point we can understand what is happening. CT did not come into this season in the most athletic shape, and he is not performing very well, or what we know he can perform to, what his level of performance can be. So possibly he is just scraping by not getting last place, but also possibly not getting as many points in the performance points system that they have introduced in this season. And so maybe there is this argument between CT and Turbo where Turbo is frustrated that CT is here if he is not performing well, or if he is not exercising to try to get to a level that he would like to be at. Why is CT here if he's not taking it very seriously? There's people's dreams to be on this show, yet you're here and you're not performing or taking this seriously, to where he tells CT, don't come on the show if you're gonna be like this. And CT says he'll come onto the show whenever he wants to, however much he wants to. If he's being asked, he'll come onto the show. And that's when Turbo walks away, but saying, then I'll send you into elimination, you lazy fat ass. We can see from the little reflection of the gray hairs in the beard that this is Turbo helping Adrian, possibly because she has the foot injury and that he is helping her with assisted pull-ups. Tay is doing some laps around the yard. Leonardo and Turbo are working out next to each other. We have Will, Leonardo, and Cedric in the pool with one another. Jake is doing some boxing with Bananas. Dee is talking with Sydney, Lekka, and Jeremy and saying we are the strongest for rookies. And there is Jeremy. I can't make out who on the team's rankings are where or when this will happen during the season. Jeremy is talking to Gabe saying that's a huge divide. It's gonna screw us. We're having a birthday party, and we can see that everybody's having a fun pool party. Justin is here, Leroy is here, Sydney is here, Jeremy, Derrick. Sydney is telling somebody she's playing the best game out of everyone. This is coming after Nany saying Olivia is holding a lot of power in this house and has a lot of pawns, so maybe Sydney is recognizing Olivia's game. Turbo is lounging, having a good time. Turbo is all over this trailer. We have Jake, Gabe, and Will, where Gabe is talking to somebody off camera saying, bro, you're talking crazy to someone who can smash you in the face. And when it pans over, we see Cedric. Is that camera magic, or are the rookie guys kind of going after one another? Naya is not having a fun time, clearly. I think that this is the same time that she tells somebody that she's not happy to be attached to them. Michaela is telling Gabe and a couple of other people, possibly Jake, because Gabe, Will, and Jake are always kind of close with one another. And Michaela sits down and says, there's hundreds of thousands of dollars on the line. Are you here to like people, or are you here to win? Incredible, incredible. Will at one point needs some help from Justin. We're at a voting ceremony where Bananas looks to be partnered up with America, and he is giving his vote, and he is clapping back at somebody saying, the reason you're here is because of me. We look over to Adrian, who possibly is partnered up with Theo, possibly after the carry challenge with the hay barrels, and Adrian says, get a grip, which then we go back over to Bananas, who says, I am the friggin' challenge, which leaves Cara going, wow, and it looks like Cara and Ben are paired up. What if, because at the end of episode 1, because Rogan left, Adrian becomes the hangnail, which it sounds like the rules are that the hangnail cannot play in the next daily challenge to save themselves, but they are available to be voted in by the house vote. What if Johnny and his partner for episode 2 somehow wins into power again and decides to save Adrian from being the quote easy vote because she is a rookie and doesn't have a partner? What if he saves her? Thus, this could be episode 3 where Bananas is partnered up with America, and that's when he's like, Adrian, you're only here because I decided to save you. Me and my partner last week decided to save you. I think I have dissected every single trailer. I've dissected every single frame from every single everything so far to try to understand and try to predict what could happen at certain points in the season. This season has already started off well with episode 0 and episode 1, and these trailers look absolutely fantastic. I hope it can keep this momentum, keep this excitement, because I'm loving the season so far, and I'm hoping that it continues at this pace. But what do you think about these trailers and all of the scenes? Which daily challenge looks the most interesting? Which elimination are you the most excited for? Is there something that I did not catch in this breakdown or any of the other breakdowns that you would like to let me know down in the comment section below. And now I want to give a special shout out thank you to everyone who supports me over at patreon.com/angelcakevids. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you. And thank you to everyone who's watching this video up to this point. I'll be back really soon with more Challenge 41 content, more challenge content, more content in general. But until then, peace.